Oh, baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
I don't even know if I want to be here for the first, 45 to 90 minutes of the show.
What's the matter?
Well, there's nothing that's particularly wrong. It's not even like I'm not even in the crosshairs. There was someone else on this podcast that went in a little bit deeper than I did. But it's everyone's favorite segment. We are gonna probably have. It's not like I have any say in this. We're probably gonna have to lead off the show with the Dallas Braden I told you so of the day, and it just so happens to be probably the biggest Dallas I told you so maybe of all time. That's why I don't have a problem with it, is because there may never again be a bigger I told you so from Dallas Braden than what we just experienced over the past weekend. And I'm even going to help facilitate it. I'll even help facilitate it. If you're a listener, first of all, thank you for listening. Thank you. There's so many different choices for your baseball coverage out there, like Baseball Tonight. There's so many different places that you can go for your baseball coverage. Thank you for choosing Baseball is Dead. That's first and foremost. But if you're a listener of the show, then you're aware that the Oakland A's went up against the seemingly unbeatable Chris Sale this past weekend. We talked about it on the show going into the weekend when we looked at the weekend slate, and this is how it went.
Chris Sale. He pitches on Saturday against the Oakland A's. This should be a fucking blast, friends. If you like to see Chris Sale's domination continue, no offense. He is 7-. What's up?
Oh, go ahead. We'll talk after. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, 7-0 with a 1.17 ERA over his last 7 starts.
Wow. You ready for that pain train, Dallas, or no?
That was the whole segment? It's not going to go how you think it's going to go.
All right. Well, when it does, you're going to get a good old fashioned "we told you so."
That's
on Monday.
I'm going full deep.
Well, there's definitely more to it, because I'm pretty sure you called it right down to like the Brent Rooker homer. Like he even homered again off of Chris Sale.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's great because right before that, I also mentioned a guy by the name of Miguel Andujar, who was met by a chorus of chuckles from the Hyenas, which is that's fun. Jayhay, I'm sure you saw Miguel Andujar just went on to have a career day at the plate, like no big deal. So I was right about that. And then I think it was Jayhay. I wasn't quite sure just because it was such an ignoramus comment. Brent Rooker not even gonna be on the team by the time. Well, it was Brent Rooker who absolutely shit on a baseball and then dropped it off in the second deck off of Chris Sale en route to a 2 for 5 after. Yeah. So Andujar, check. Brent Rooker, check. Chris Sale having one of the worst starts of his career, check. I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so. What about everything I was telling you would lead you to believe I was going to be wrong? You both are on this podcast. You both listen. You both have the MLB app. I'm sure you tuned in to CJ Nikowski, which he thanks you for. But if you did listen, you knew how this was going to unfold. You knew how this was going to unfold. Who did? CJ did?
I said I was hoping that Alex Wood was pitching, but.
Yep, nope, not the case. Not the case. But there were a lot of folks who thought that this was just going to be an absolute deal fest. I heard calls for 7 innings, no run, 11 punch outs. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath. He might, according to my, he might throw a perfect game, and then he's going to take that baseball and throw it right up to the press box. Isn't it funny? And then he got absolutely fucking Rammy cackled. He got undressed, thrown into a fucking corner. A yard sale is what it was. Chris Sale, Jayhay, if you didn't know, had 6 games of 8 earned runs allowed. Last time that happened, you got to go back to August 3rd?
Probably last year.
2019, I believe. That was against the New York Yankees. So they
was at that game. That game sucked.
But the The .850 slugging percentage for Oakland in that game is the second highest in all of the 8-run games that Chris Sale has endured, behind only the bludgeoning he took against Atlanta in 2016.
What an incredibly obscure stat. Good job.
10 hits, 3 homers were allowed in that game. But yeah, the swinging eyes absolutely pounded Chris Sale. There was no perfect game, Jayhay. There was no baseball into the press box. Jared, he did not go 7. It was a mere 4 innings. But the 4-hit game for Miguel Andujar was really nice, just because we watched Miguel Andujar. And I honestly, like, all aside, shout out to Marcotte here, because JJ Bleday has swung the bat exceptionally well to the point where...
You're missing a few syllables.
JJ Bleday, baby. It's JJ Bleday. It's just been outstanding. But what Marcotte did said, look, I'm not going to force feed JJ Bleday to Chris Sale. I'm not going to do that in the 2 spot. So he slid him down to the 6 spot. Miggy slides up to the 2 hole. Miguel Andujar goes on, as I said, Jayhay, to have a career day. The last time he recorded 4 hits in the big leagues, well, the only other time he recorded 4 hits in the big leagues, you got to go back to 2018. All right, April 22nd, 2018.
Jesus,
that was against the Blue Jays. But Miguel Andujar, career day. Brent Rooker, the homer, the A's offense, absolutely shitting all over Chris Sale is everything I told you that was going to happen. And it wasn't me just...
You did tell us that.
Throwing it out there. Like I said, there's some folks who do their homework. I'm not saying me. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying there's some teams, there's some groups. I think it pays to pay attention, as we know in this game.
You know why this falls a little flat for me, Jared?
Why?
It's like the overgrown boy who cried wolf, a little bit. It's, if I didn't have to endure the I told you so segment of the week 3 times a week,
3 times
every podcast, maybe this one would, he's unquestionably right here. It's just, it doesn't hit as hard as it should, because I feel like I'm told you so every podcast, you know.
This was a big I told you so, though. I think the only thing that would have taken the wind out of his sails, no pun intended, would be if the Braves did come back, because it was getting there. Like, they had an 8-3 lead.
Well, yeah, if you don't win the game, that would have been tough.
Matt Olson. The A's were winning 8-3, and Matt Olson, of all people, Platinum Glover, hits a home run to tie at 8-8, and I'm like, there goes Dallas's bragging rights. You can't really brag about taking Chris Sale to the woodshed when you'll fucking blow an 8-3 lead.
But the A's still hung on. Why can't you?
Because
what about losing the game?
That's loser mentality.
You certainly could, but then you would be talking about how right you were in the middle of a sweep.
Yeah.
And that, my friend,
would hit less hard. For
sure. Because the take-home message,
you're down bad if that still hits as hard as you're claiming, you are down bad.
Yep.
I will still sub you from the bottom, though. That's okay if you've got top position there. I will still snatch an arm and you're coming with me. That's the fucking take-home message there.
One game in the series.
I was told that Chris Sale was essentially going to have an outing that would plant him in the fucking Hall of Fame right after the game. Like, the A's were not going to be able to leave because Rob Manfred was flying in on the chopper, and they were going to show the bust of Chris Sale right in the fucking Cooper. Here you go, Chris. After your fucking 39 punch-out performance against the A's, you are a member of the Hall of Fame. Like, that's what I was told was coming. When that did not happen.
What a release for you.
When that did not happen,
years
there was no other way
Years.
this was going to go.
Half a decade.
This is it.
Yeah. Yeah, you've struck a nerve with Dallas Braden when he hits you with my friend. You got my friend in there, Jay.
Why are you pointing it at me? You said
just turned it.
Yeah, wait, why did I go deeper? All I did was provide.
I don't know, Jay. That's a question you should have been asking.
All I did was provide a nugget.
Chris Sale goes
and then
today.
say the perfect game line. Didn't you say there would be a reckoning of some sort?
No, I didn't hear that in the clip.
There would be an I told you so. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's gonna be.
I think we're equally culpable here, as is Joey.
Disagree.
I think it's really
as is Joey, who wasn't there. But
I think it's kind of a 3-person thing.
Yeah, you
as
could
a Braves
sense what
fan.
Joey would have said if he was there on Thursday. But
I would have been on Dallas' side. I mean, you got to trust him. When it comes to lefties, he knows lefties.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's
And I don't think you guys understood that Miguel Andujar is on the A's now. He's batting fourth, and that changes things. They're saying they're 2023 A's.
Yep.
It's just 2024 A's.
Yeah.
Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, it's big time.
Some are calling
Big
him
time.
Miguel Andujar's A's.
Wow. What's his OPS now? It's like over 800?
1.019.
Oh, shit. How many plate appearances?
That's
Like
more than
30,
Shohei.
34.
34.
He's raking.
Former hypothetical centerpiece of every Mike Trout trade.
Yep.
What a turn for him.
Ooh, maybe the A's get Mike Trout.
Is Clint Frazier, he's not in Major League Baseball anymore. He's not, I don't even think he's in a minor league organization.
They may still have his rights, though, to be able to trade.
Maybe. Yeah, I think he's
Maybe
playing
there's
for
like
like the Long Island Ducks or some shit.
Maybe the Ducks could get Mike Trout.
Let's see. Where is Clint Frazier? Clint Frazier.
Catch him in between tea times.
Clint Frazier, who wanted to. Wow, did I fucking. No, I didn't know that.
Anyway, congratulations
He's playing for
to Dallas. He
the
was right.
Charleston Dirty Birds.
You know,
of the
at what point in time were you
Atlantic League.
realizing, fuck, I'm going to have to listen to this moron? Like,
Well,
I
happening.
think about that prior to. Oh, you're saying about this topic? Oh,
Yeah, just this topic.
I was like, I gear up for that before every pod.
Yeah. Just
Just this
I
topic.
mean, it was probably after the first one. Because like once you predict or you taunt about the potential of a perfect game, there's a standard that has to be met. And so I would say it was the double in the first that gave them the lead. I was like, well, then that's not going to be a perfect game, nor is it going to be a shutout. Obviously, the Andujar homer changed the complexion of how this conversation might go. But you know, I was kind of riding with the big time outing, not just avoiding shit talk. I wasn't even really thinking about shit talk. I was just thinking like, how good will this outing be? If I'm being totally honest, why would I think any differently if that's how I was talking before the podcast?
no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Quick note though, second worst start of Chris Sale's career, tied for by game score. The only one worse. It's been over 9 years. It was April 30th, 2015 is the only time he's had a worse start in his career by game score. He's had equally bad starts, including the Yankees start that Dallas outlined. But the only time he's been worse was over 9 years ago. So
that, as a Red Sox fan, feels impossible. That
he had two starts like that. I believe his rookie year or 2013.
yeah, so he had one very similar against the then Indians in 2013, which was a game score of 16. Obviously, this is all fucking nitpicky. These are all equally shitty starts in some ways, but
Yeah.
To find a worse one, technically by this one measure, you have to go back to a start against the Twins in 2015, where he gave up 8 earned, 9 runs total in 3 innings pitched, which is obviously marginally worse than allowing 8 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, which is what he did against Dallas's Fighting A's.
wow. Yeah, ERA went from
Lamb
almost
to
a
slaughter.
full run, 12 to
Yeah, from
212
2-something
to
to 3.
306. Yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine the fucking green and gold rolling into town. You feel like, buddy, we're sub 2. I'm going to get out of this thing with a sub 2. And now you're staring at a 3 in the face, north of a 3 in the face.
Maybe
Shout
that's
out
what we
Max
need to
Schumann.
spend. Maybe that's what we need to spend more time talking about, is not so much that me, Jared, and Joey were wrong, but that Chris Sale was not properly prepared for the start.
Well, hey, yeah, I mean, Chris Sale
And he
may have
has
had
to own some of this.
he may have had a little of that Conor McGregor fight camp approach to this outing, where you know, maybe instead of in the gym, I don't know, he's out taking bike rides instead of paying attention to what he needs to be paying. I don't know.
That was a low blow.
Didn't
I don't know.
appreciate the inside source that was Dallas Braden.
Nobody did. Nobody did. Told you.
That was a low blow.
I did. Deep down I did, but I like to play it up for the cameras.
Yeah. Tough look. I hope he bounces back, though. He should be fine.
Twitter's doing something weird.
I hate the fact that
I
that you
retweeted
did that
Dallas's
to him,
video, and it's not showing up on my page.
Oh yeah, it's been a little funky. I've had to like refresh stuff a couple of times. I think it's still there. It's just not immediately showing up.
That's weird. All right.
Or Dallas's content's being shadow banned.
That's true.
Yeah,
that could also
that's-
be a possibility.
I don't think we
That's
should rule that out.
what I feel like is happening. That's probably more accurate.
Well, have you gotten it all out of your system, Dallas?
Yeah, I'm not one to gloat.
Mhm.
Just a couple.
We have a whole segment named after you gloating.
couple minutes of acknowledgement was really all that was necessary. I do Max Schumann 4 hits in the day as well. He had a great day.
Yeah, shout out Max Schumann.
Shout out Max Schumann.
That
That's really
segment would have
just
felt
the
really incomplete without that.
simple acknowledgement is all I was after, and we got it. It's all
So
that
now we're
mattered.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, how are you
scripted.
feeling right now about Chris Sale? Because it's is that seeing a start like that? Is that jarring to you after how dominant he was? Like, do you feel like you got like sucker punch for a little second there?
It was definitely a sucker punch. The A's swinging A's, but they can do it. They can do it to you. That's the thing. They call them swinging A's for a reason. If you look at the A's, break down their offense, terrible offense by the numbers, as they are 24th in runs. But if you look at their home runs, 5th.
That's
Yeah.
right, Joe. That's right.
So these guys can pop some out of the park, and 2 home runs against Chris Sale. Can't keep him in the yard. You can have a bad outing. Everyone has a bad outing. It doesn't change my opinion on Chris Sale.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, Joe, because for the game, we have to do these keys to the game. And one of my keys to the game was simple. Hashtag yard sale. What does that mean? That means we go deep. This game, it's a Wego. It's over. It's over.
Sometimes it's just not your night, you know?
And there was more than enough wind in the sail of the swinging A's.
Wow. I think this is the first time that Joe's been on since he got Angel Hernandez to retire. Did you put out a statement on this, Joe?
Yeah, I can't say much about that, but yeah, he retired. I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes there, whether he would retired or MLB paid him to retire. There's rumors of a special financial agreement.
Where are you seeing those rumors? Is this on the dark web?
It was reported
By whom?
by someone, man. Like, I don't remember I read up a lot of articles. I don't remember who the fuck said.
Okay.
According to reports, the New York Times, according to an anonymous report, there was obviously Angel Hernandez didn't umpire for 3 weeks before he announced his retirement. They're saying that was 3 weeks taken so they could work out this special financial agreement. Of course, if you retire in the middle of the season, like that could mean, it makes sense you get a special financial agreement. But there's also a report that MLB approached him about potentially retiring. So people are speculating, obviously, even though the lawyer of Mr. Hernandez says that he was not fired and it was completely his choice to retire, that MLB kind of was like, hey, man, it would be a good time to retire. We'll give you a big bonus.
It's probably
Which I think is possible, very possible. It's obvious that MLB wasn't really a big fan of Angel Hernandez. After you sue the league for racial discrimination, they call your ass out for fucking up replays. Every time you make a bad call, go viral. It's kind of a stain in the league. It's pretty obvious MLB would rather not have Angel Hernandez umpiring games, whether or not his scores are not umpires.
Could you imagine being the defense team for Major League Baseball when they're like, okay, hold on. So let's just get this straight. Angel Hernandez is suing us because he believes that we are racially motivated to keep him from calling very important games. Is that what it is? All right. We've been preparing for this moment since the day Angel Hernandez showed up here. Go get the TV. Go get the TV. Bring it over.
It is funny if you look at that's the real.
And then they wheel the TV out They wheeled the TV out. They wheeled the TV out just like you had wheeled into your classroom when the substitute was there. You're going to watch a movie today. And they just went like this. They just hit play. Boop. All right. You guys just watch that. And that's why we don't put him in. And then we will rest the case right after that too.
All right, we lost Joe. His mic unplugged, and then he said he may never come back, and I guess that's the case.
He meant it.
You just never know with Joe. He's an enigma. But what I do know is that Tommy Pham is not the person that you want to fuck with. And what I also know is that the internet doesn't seem to agree. There was an incident yesterday. If you weren't paying attention to the games or you were off the internet, play at the plate in the White Sox Brewers game where Tommy Pham takes, you could probably speak to the baseball side of it better, but an unconventional angle, would you say? Is that a fair assessment?
We got to rewind. You have to listen to what Tommy said about the play as a whole.
Yeah.
And then we can start to understand where we're coming from. All right. So Christian Yelich essentially caught this ball about 5 feet from the fucking infield grass at shortstop. I'm exaggerating, but Christian Yelich was coming in on a ball, waited, and then continued to play through a very shallow fly ball in left field and was in a great position to make a throw to home plate. And he did. So what Tommy Pham was doing is like he was trying to create an angle where he might become a part of the play before the baseball gets there. So if you are running that far inside the line, based on where the outfielder is throwing the ball from, you might factor into the play before the ball gets to the catcher. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Or are
Yeah.
you just responding like yes? Okay.
No, yes.
So that's one part of what Tommy Pham is thinking. And then I know the internet's immediate reaction is, well, if he just ran in a straight line, wouldn't he have been at home a heck of a lot sooner? Wouldn't he have been? Telling you where Tommy Pham is coming from, because right after he was asked the question about what happened, Tommy Pham went into explaining how shallow the fly ball was and how all he's supposed to be doing is listening to his base coach, right? Because what'd he say? Third base coach sends you, you got to go. And he said, on that ball, you can expect a runner to be thrown out at home. Like he's telling you in so many words while he's kind of throwing his third base coach under the bus, which not great. What he was thinking and why he did what he did. So all up until that moment, that's where Tommy Pham is coming from mentally. And then after the play, I think you saw what happened where Contreras gets up excited that they just hosed Tommy Pham at home. Probably says something. I don't know if he said something directly to Tommy Pham.
Or he was looking right at him and he was pounding his chest like he was doing this.
And so my whole point was, and Jared, we can extend the I told you so segment, because I told your ass a few years ago, Tommy Pham ain't the dude to fuck around with. And then
that was like
it came out that he had this right. The stabbing at the nightclub, and we revisited it. And I was like, well, if you remember, Tommy Pham ain't that dude. And then he slapped the shit out of Jock Peterson. He rearranged his facial structure and, over some fantasy football. And again, we were reminded that Tommy Pham he just ain't that dude. What do you got, Jay?
So what was the pushback you guys received? Because I didn't engage on this. I didn't tweet about it or anything. So I didn't see the direct feedback. So what are people taking issue with?
Because they're saying he's a fake tough guy because after the play, there's a collision.
Right. No, I know the play. I know what happened.
There's a play, and then which isn't true, but people are like, oh, he's doing the hold me back, bro, which I don't think Tommy Pham is not doing that. And then after he kind of gets guided in the direction of the outfield, he was shadow boxing. So it's like, that was probably what people are looking at, where it's like, all right, he's shadow boxing to show you, like, I want to beat you up. But like, it's like, well, I'm on Tommy's side. Like, I don't think that there was an opportunity for him to fight Contreras at home plate. It wasn't that kind of altercation. It wasn't a threat of physical violence was not there on Contreras's behalf. I think that Tommy was just like, hey, if you want to disrespect me like that, then we can throw hands if you want. And that was not what Contreras wanted. So it's kind of a fair exchange. Like, I'll beat your ass if you want it. And Contreras was like, no, I don't want it. And it's like, all right, cool. Fine. Transaction complete.
I mean, this is what we talk about. Like, there's players who they just don't care that you're wearing a uniform. They don't care that this is a sanctioned event. Like, don't let any of that get in the way of thinking that they will not whoop your ass or try to whoop your ass right here, right now, in the middle of God and everybody. Like, there's guys that just operate that way. And so I think, in my experience from watching T-Pham work, he is somebody who, if you're going to make it personal, well, then that's where we're going to have a problem. If you're excited and you jump up and you fist pump and you're not looking at me and you're not, in my face, bro, do you. But the minute that you direct it, like, right at me, and it's fuck you, like, Tommy Pham was obviously frustrated that he got sent, was obviously frustrated that he was called out, and probably would rather have not gone, probably would rather have been called safe. And so when you take all of that and then you, like, in his grill, he's probably going to feel a certain way about it. And what people are getting upset about, Jayhay, is, oh, well, if he's that dude, why did he? Because Tommy Pham is not showing up to play baseball to look for a fight on the fucking diamond. That's not what he's there to do. He's not trying to just whoop somebody's ass daily. What he is trying to do is have a certain level of respect directed towards him. And if he feels like that line gets crossed, he's going to have something to say about it.
The toughest dudes are not the dudes who are completely unhinged and attack somebody for really bad reasons.
He didn't attack anybody.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, Dallas is saying, there's a segment of the feedback that's like, well, if he was a really tough guy, why didn't he go and really do something? And it's like, well, because it didn't get to that level, to the point you guys are making. Like, that doesn't mean that Tommy Pham isn't an actual tough guy too, by the way, that he didn't, like, beat William Contreras, like just unleash on him for nothing, doesn't mean that he's not a tough guy. If you add all the stuff that Dallas is talking about, you look at the quotes that Tommy Pham provided after the game, which I think were extremely eye-opening about what his mindset was during and after this play, where he's like, 1-run ball game, close play at the plate. Actually, it wasn't even fucking close. Right. He's like, that was the quote. And he's like, yes, you can say that, a separate conversation as to whether he should be kind of throwing the third base coach under the bus. But, like, he's clearly very frustrated. Also, the White Sox blow, and they just lost their 11th straight game, which apparently is their longest since July of 1956. Okay. So, like, you can understand how a guy who is competitive. And then I thought Pat Murphy's quote was maybe the best quote about this whole situation. He said, this is the opposing manager. Tommy is just trying to say, I can play for you guys, man. Bring me over there. See, I'm just like you. I can do that. He's like, I like Tommy Pham. He's like, he's been critical. He goes on and on. But, like, if that's the opposing manager's response to this, like, to me, that's more a reflection that he's got respect for tough guy Tommy Pham and how he handled the situation, I guess, than it is about Tommy Pham being some sort of fake fucking tough guy.
And you want to know why Murph likes that? You want to know why Murph acknowledges what was going on? Is because Murph don't play either. Mm-hmm. Murph's a gritty motherfucker too. And you can smell that on guys. You can see it. You know who they are, right? Game recognizes game, Jayhay. And you know who those dudes are. And you also know what it takes to keep a clubhouse at a certain level of performance. And there's just guys with certain approaches and certain attitudes in life that a clubhouse truly benefits from. And a guy like Tommy Pham showing up trying to get to work each and every day amidst one of the longest losing streaks in franchise history is coming off in a way where other managers see it and say, you know what? We'll take him. If that's what we're getting, that competitive fire, blah, 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 we'll take him.
Somebody will. Somebody will have him on their team, and it won't be the White Sox come, July 31st or August 1.
Yeah. The other element of that
I love
is
the quote.
What?
Well, the quote at the end. The quote at the end of it. The quote at
Well,
the end. I'm
going to play the quote, but the call was something. We'll all right, here's the call.
Here's the throw to the plate. And he's out. And Contreras is barking at him. Tommy Pham's barking back. He's not backing down. He doesn't like that. And now home plate umpire Edwin Jimenez has to hold back Pham. Nah, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that from the Brewers. I don't care how many L's we got this year. We ain't taking that.
It's very cringe. Very cringe.
No, they're holding back Tommy Pham
Like,
to make sure that everybody.
The
Big shoes to fill with Benetti.
The broadcaster there sounds like he wants to get down into the scrum or something.
It's not a bad thing.
For whatever reason, William Contreras decided he was going to give Tommy Pham an earful.
Very bizarre call. Dude, we ain't taking that. We're about to be on our 11th consecutive loss, but you can beat us on the field 11 straight. But you're not going to beat us in a fight. Like, what? I don't know. It was very strange.
Well, what's he supposed to say at some point in time? He's like, I got nothing here. We've lost 10 straight games. We're not rolling over. We're you know what? We're done taking it. We're done taking it. He's just
not on the
he's
team.
trying to communicate.
He's not on the team.
Oh, so you want the White Sox to not only be the most boring fucking worst team ever. You want their announcers to be equally boring and not give a fuck and be like, yeah, we suck dick.
I'm not saying
No, I wanted them to retain their world class announcer. If we're getting down to the
that
details,
guy's better than Benetti.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
that.
and Benetti's overrated too. And no offense to him, but
wow,
he's not even world class.
Hey, easy on the Benetti overrated.
He couldn't sniff
Wow.
Dallas's shoes, dude.
Yeah, the fact that you're referring to one guy by his name and the other guy is that other guy, I think says all we need to know about what levels they're
He's
at.
still getting.
Yeah,
just
this was
getting
the same broadcaster that had the Benintendi walk-off. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to fact check that. Same vibe. He's sticking up for Chicago like Benetti never could. Didn't Benetti leave to go to the Tigers on his own?
Let's go! The White Sox walking off in the 10th. And for the first time all season, the Sox have won 2 in a row. Say it with me. Say it proud for all the haters. Southside, stand up!
See, why is that bad? Like, Chicago has a history of announcers just like that.
I mean, was that man born inside Comiskey Field?
Come on, man.
Or the U.S. Cellular or whatever, mortgage rent field or whatever it's being called. I think I just dated myself real bad.
Haters,
but
it was
the
called,
2 in a row.
I
the 2 in a row is the fucking best.
Yeah. I appreciate the passion. I do. But I mean, when you are calling it like walk-off home run for Game 7 of the World Series because for the first time all season you won back-to-back games, like that's fucking crazy.
Hey, you know
for
what?
For all the haters, shut the fuck up. We got you today, haters.
That just goes to show how far removed you are from wearing a tough season on the chin, pal. That just goes to show.
I saw a stat somewhere earlier this morning when I was doing the research for the rundown. And
someone hasn't lost 100 games in a while, and it shows.
The White Sox, I think, are on pace for 40 wins. And like the Yankees and the Phillies already have more than that right now.
Yeah, Phillies have, Phillies
41.
and Yankees both
41 and 42.
Right?
yeah, I got I got some White Sox context coming for you.
Oh yeah,
later.
please. Do you want the context now, or do we want to do the Pham?
Yeah,
quote?
I can do it.
Yeah.
We might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, not only are they enduring an 11-game losing streak, which is obviously frustrating enough on the whole, they are now 15-45 on the season, and the A's got attention for this last year, but ultimately avoided the fate. But the White Sox are making their own pursuit of the worst record, basically, in the 162-game era season, which is the 1962 Mets, who went 40-120 and won. They didn't play their 162nd game, probably to their benefit. But either way, the White Sox are actually pacing below the 1962 Mets right now if they play 162 games. So to the point about whether they'll hit 40 wins or not, we might be looking at the worst team. I know it felt like what could be worse than the 2023 A's, and I'm not even trying to be funny because Dallas is on the pod. I think we all experience that. The White Sox are actually doing their damnedest to put them in the rearview mirror. And right now, the only record by winning percentage, if they were to continue their winning percentage right now, that would be worse than them in the live ball era is the 1935 Boston Braves.
Damn. Damn. Sorry, Jared.
Damn.
He's trying to diss us, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Had to bring up the Boston
bang,
Braves.
Bang, bang.
Had to bring up the Boston Braves, man.
Went all the way back
Whatever.
for
The
that one.
White Sox right now, last in average, last on base percentage, last in OPS, last in runs, last in home runs, last in wins, last in slugging.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible product. It's
They're
like a
not a good
historically
team, I
terrible
feel.
product.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the vibes are telling me, is that they're not a good team.
But it was just like a blink ago that they were not appreciably worse than a few other teams in the league, it felt like, at least record-wise. And then, hey, man, you put together one 11-game losing streak, and there you are.
Well, I mean,
Pacing
yeah,
with
you
the
have,
worst
well,
of
you
all
have
time.
guys. Think about it. Like guys just haven't performed. Guys didn't grow into the players that they thought they would become. You had injuries. Like I think there's a lot that happened to the White Sox that has prevented them from growing into the team and growing into the franchise, really even being competitive really within the window that we felt like they had.
Well, and not to pile on too much, but I know we're used to relatively quick turnarounds or the potential for quick turnarounds in the Central because, you know, the floor or the ceiling is lower to win the division. But I think you can make a case that this is going to be one of the uglier rebuilds, retools that we've seen in a little while, because not only is the Major League roster in the worst shape of any team in their own division and maybe in Major League Baseball, but the farm system is, if not in the worst shape in the league, it's not a top tier farm system waiting to overflow. In fact, I would almost guarantee that most of the ranking systems have the other four teams in the division higher than the White Sox, which is an unbelievably bad combination. So, I mean, it could be a half decade before we're seriously talking about the White Sox as like a fringe contender, decent team again.
And Jay, how much of that do you think, because I was thinking about this, how much of that do you think is going to really be illuminated by what the Guardians have done this season already, the way that they've performed as a group, and where the Royals are seemingly headed as a group, right? Like Royals, when you go from worst to first, the way that the Kansas City Royals have, I mean, not worst to first because the Guardians are first in the division, but when you are making a very real push for being that group, and remember the series that I think everybody in the Central has been waiting for kicks off tomorrow, because this will be the first time that the Guardians and the Royals meet each other this season. And so the conversation we're having right now is about how bad the White Sox are, how bad the White Sox are going to continue to be, and does the resurgence of the Guardians under Stephen Vogt and the emergence of the Kansas City Royals during the Bobby Witt Jr. era and the Salvador Perez resurgence tour, is that just sort of highlighting what a shitty spot the White Sox are in also?
It's just very rare that you see a team that is behind the eight ball as it relates to both the past and the present. And that's where they're at because of all the, not only injuries and all the stuff you outlined, but some real mismanagement and recent mismanagement of their own assets. Like, just to name one, Ronaldo Lopez was on this roster last year and was never this good. And they got almost nothing for him. And now he is a key piece to one of the best teams in baseball. And that's a failure on some level.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons for it.
Did he even start for them?
For most of his career, no.
So like for the White Sox last year, he didn't even start. So they looked at Ronaldo Lopez and said, like, this guy is not a starter, for sure not a starter. I don't know who the White Sox has at starters last year who were better than Ronaldo Lopez. Seems like he probably should have been a starter.
Well, yeah, and I wasn't even talking last year, Joe. I was really talking like I said, you were supposed to have Kopech come up and be impactful. You had Garrett Crochet in the wings. You had Lucas Giolito. Like you had guys that you were confident that you could ride, that were going to turn into something that gave you an opportunity consistently. That did not happen. Tim Anderson, dealing with what he dealt with.
Lou Bob, by the way, still locked in until 2027, by the way. He's got a pair of club options for 26 and 27 at $20 million. I feel like those are going to be still very much affordable and worthwhile by the time 26 and 27 rolls around. So he's stuck. He's stuck there. But before we move on from that whole topic, here is the Tommy Pham quotes from after the game that we were talking about.
One-run ball game, close play at the plate. And actually, it wasn't even fucking close. It was a shallow fly ball to left field. You would expect the left fielder to throw the base runner out on that play, but the situation of the game, third base coach sends you got to go. I'm nailed out at home by a mile. I'm going to the dugout, and I hear the tough guy with all the hoorah shit. So I'll never start anything, but I'll be prepared to finish it. There's a reason why, I do all kinds of fighting in the off season, because I'm prepared to fuck somebody up. So you can take it as what it is.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I fucking love it. I'll tell you right now, Jared, we would have had a t-shirt 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
3 minutes later.
Yeah.
That is one of the all-timers.
Like I don't get why. So that tweet, I tweeted out the play at the plate with Tommy Pham. It now has over 1,500 replies. Like I was saying how you get a viral tweet might get 200 replies or something like that. Like you'll get all the likes and retweets or whatever. But that meant to drive that kind of conversation. People were up in arms about this Tommy Pham shit on Sunday. And I overwhelmingly, I would say 98%, maybe north of that, were not on Tommy Pham's side. If you just listen to what he said, he's like, I didn't start anything. Like to what Dallas was illustrating earlier, the third base coach told me to go. Like, I'm pissed that I'm out. I'm pissed that it wasn't even close. Like, I'm the one that looks like an idiot for his decision to send me. This team sucks, so I'm frustrated that we're losing literally every single game. So I look like an asshole at home plate, and then I got the catcher celebrating in my face like he just did something heroic in a highlight reel play. It's like, of course I was I was out by a mile. Like, why are you celebrating like this? And if you're gonna fucking disrespect me, then we can throw hands. That's the Tommy Pham mentality. I mean, that's the last dude that I would try to piss off, and that's all I said. Tommy Pham seems like the last guy that you would want to piss off in a situation like that, like rub it in his face and disrespect him. And the internet just did not agree. They're like, oh, fake tough guy, this and that. How is he a fake tough guy? He will fucking hit you. What have you not seen? What have you not seen that would make you think that he's not going to do something if it got to that point?
Because I'm telling you right now, Tommy Pham is the type of dude where if I were to hit him up and be like, yo, T, I actually found this dude who was like, I will say that to his face, and I will sign a waiver that says if I say this to Tommy Pham's face and I find out what Tommy Pham's reaction would be, if I did say that to his face, I cannot sue anybody. I don't know that I'd have any takers. If I could promise you that I could get you in front of Tommy Pham and let you say whatever the fuck it is you think you would be saying to him about this to his face, there's a solid chance the minute that dude walks up to you, you do not say that. Because there's a solid chance you're going to find out.
I can't get over that call, man.
It was a good call, man.
Play call?
Yeah.
Because if that's a bad call, that means Hawk Harrelson, bad announcer. That means Harry Carey, bad announcer. Those two Chicago legends.
No,
Yes,
no, it does not mean that.
exactly
No,
what
it doesn't mean that.
means.
Nope.
Go watch those.
Nope.
Go watch those eras of White Sox baseball when Harry Carey was announcing them. They're probably terrible, and he was probably getting really fucking excited every time they won a game. Same with Hawk.
I have listened to an enormous amount of Hawk Harrelson in my life, and there are so many differences between Hawk and that other guy whose name I still don't know. No offense. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, Hawk's thing was folksy. It was there was a charm to it. He was a homer, but he wasn't shrill. He had catchy sayings that transcended the Chicago broadcast and became national sayings to a degree.
Stand up. For the haters.
That's the problem
the
here. It's like we got the quintessential hater right here. The guy's calling you out, Jay.
That's who it's for.
Yeah,
right?
For all the haters.
He should be less shrill. Because I loved listening to Hawk, and I got no stake in the White Sox game. That was fun.
For all the haters.
This is not that.
Southside stand up.
I dare a White Sox fan listening to this podcast to tell me that guy is the new Hawk Harrelson. Somebody reply to this podcast and tell us that.
I don't think you're getting that.
I never said that either.
That's exactly what you said.
That is. Yeah.
Run it back, Jake. Did I say that? Because if I said it, I'll stand by it, but I don't think I said that. But if I did say that, that is true. If I didn't say that, then I'll say now. He's the next Hawk.
Wow. There you go. So we got you to it anyway.
He's the next Hawk. He's going to be in Chicago for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Whether the haters like it or not.
They're not going to like it, but that's fine.
No, the haters don't like anything. But even the haters love the Underdog Fantasy app. I know that. They do love it. Because Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. We got Skeens versus the Doyers coming up. So I would imagine that we're going to be running a promo for that.
Oh, my gosh. Skeens against Mookie and Ohtani. And
Mm-hmm. That's going to be appointment television, as have all of his starts. But we'll probably have a promo running for that. So make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app. Sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That is the Underdog Fantasy app. Promo code Jared. You got to talk about these Yankees. The Yankees. They scored 4 in the 9th yesterday to complete the sweep of the San Francisco Giants. Over the weekend, if you weren't watching, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto combined to go 12 for 22 with 5 home runs. They scored 10 runs and drove in 10 runs. After this weekend, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto are now 1-2 in Major League Baseball in wins rated, weighted runs created plus. 198 for Judge and 191 for Juan Soto. The MVP race in the American League feels like it's going to come down to 2 guys on the same team, and Bobby Witt Jr. and Gunnar Henderson. But I mean, you look at it right now, it's fucking the Judge and Soto show going on right now in New York. It's fucking crazy.
It is stupid. It is absolutely stupid. And I saw a tweet, like posting one of Soto's homers and was like, could this be an everyday occurrence or could this be a normal sight? here at Oracle in 2025. And I was like, nah, dog. Like not even close. Not even close. Nope. I think what Aaron Judge and Juan Soto have realized, and Judge is already there, that fucker ain't going anywhere. But he has made it extremely comfortable. If Juan Soto was Goldilocks and Aaron Judge is all three bears, and every bed he's made is comfortable, every soup, every bit of porridge is just the right temperature, it all fits. It all fits. Soto's going to die a New York Yankee, and there's no way that what we are seeing right now does not get bottled up by the Yankee brand. This will be the most egregious miss of a free agent if they do not land Juan Soto. If they do not tattoo pinstripes on Juan Soto's forehead, the Yankees are fucking it up.
Well, I mean, are you reading between the lines here with Hal Steinbrenner saying we can't sustain this kind of payroll, and Juan Soto said, yeah, we're going to talk to every team. Like he's not saying like it's pinstripes or die. He's saying, yeah, I'm going to go out there and any team can get it. He's made no verbal commitment to the New York Yankees moving forward.
I'm purely speaking from if you're a Yankee fan and you're watching this unfold right now, like how do you see Juan Soto going anywhere else? Because it's not to say that Aaron Judge is having the season he's having because Soto's there, but you'd be hard pressed to act like he's not having an impact on that. And the same thing could be said in the reverse. So watching what this offense has done and what these two have done specifically together, if you're a Yankee fan, isn't this everything you've been wanting to see and had wanted to see with Stanton and Judge? Well, now you also have Stanton there. This is everything that was supposed to happen with Stanton and Judge.
Correct.
Now it's happening with Stanton there, who's also kind of experiencing a bounce back, but you have Juan Soto showing you why he is considered largely across the game as the purest hitting talent we have.
Next to Ohtani. But yes. Yes, that's a good point. I didn't really think of that. This is what they wanted with Stanton and Judge, and it just didn't happen. To a degree, I mean, they were both good, but Judge didn't have his like holy fuck season, while Stanton was a capable offensive threat as a New York Yankee.
Well, Jay, you could look this up. You'd be. I mean, at any point in time, were they ever 1-2 in WRC? At any point in time.
Oh,
Judge
no.
Right?
Stanton's never been that good.
Never.
During the Yankees era. It just hasn't been that way.
And
to be totally honest, like by at least adjusted OPS, Giancarlo Stanton's only like really never had a season that's as good as even what Juan Soto is doing this year, let alone what Judge is doing. Like if you I know like his free agency is an inevitable topic, but there's a part of me, to the extent that I'm able to enjoy what goes on with the New York Yankees, there's a part of me that just wants to enjoy what we're seeing with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto as a tandem in a lineup together, regardless of what the future brings. Because even if Juan Soto re-signs in New York and they keep this duo together, it's possible, and maybe even likely, I don't know, but at least very possible, that we never see them performing at this high a level together ever again. Even if he re-signs on a 10-year deal, like that's a realistic scenario that in terms of appreciating what we have now and what we're seeing, because a couple of weeks ago when like the Ohtani Betts and like Soto and Judge duos were both like, they were both heating up, or like in the case of Ohtani and Betts had already heated up. I started looking at duos in Major League Baseball history that have ever performed in the same season at the level that those combinations were doing. And since then, Ohtani and Betts have cooled off a little bit. Soto and Judge have just kept going. And the fact is this: if you look at adjusted OPS, which in my opinion is the best tool for this, because it accounts for errors and it's just one stat and it's about offensive performance. It's not about defense, which is not what we're talking about here. The only combination that equals or exceeds what Judge and Soto are doing right now if they continue at this level for the rest of the season is Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. That's fucking it. There has never been a duo that's doing what they're doing right now. You can name any combination of people that you want right now, and I'll tell you, they didn't do this. Griffey and A-Rod? No.
Manny
Griffey and Edgar? No. Manny and Ortiz? No. And what you have to consider is the offensive environment with those guys. Did those guys have OPSs that are straight up as good as what Juan Soto was doing this year? Yes, they did. But they were playing in an offensive environment that was much, much more juiced up, pun intended, than what we're seeing right now. And so that's part of the math here, that they are in a season where offense is down across the board. They are performing at a level that is so much better than almost everybody else in the league that it's as good as what, not quite as good as what Ruth and Gehrig are doing, but as good as anything that has been done since those guys, and frankly, better if they continue at their current rate. Pujols, whatever person you want to put next to Pujols from his prime, Roland, Edmonds, it doesn't matter. There's never been something like this. And that's why the righty-lefty element to it, that it's in a big market, that we get to see a lot of their games on a national stage. Like, to me, there's a really, really special thing going on. And yes, Yankees fans can be concerned about Juan Soto's ultimate destination and price tag and all of that, and the Steinbrenner quotes. Me, man, we might not ever get another 2024 like what we're seeing, and I'm going to try and enjoy it.
So now that you have, some historical context to it, if you're a Yankee fan listening to this, you realize that this is the first time since two Yankee greats that the game has seen anything like this, and you fancy yourselves, your organization, as the gold standard. Could you imagine allowing your front office off the hook? Should they let this guy walk? Should they let this guy go play baseball somewhere else? Like, isn't this an opportunity for them to get back to being the big bad evil empire? Wouldn't this be the one opportunity that they've had in front of them outside of Garrett Cole dangling off the tree of life, and they went and plucked him? Now you've got Juan Soto here doing, as Jayhay just outlined, historical things with another guy who's going to be there representing an opportunity to continue potentially a historical run together. But it's almost like we're now just so readily willing to accept, even from this market, the market in baseball, that it's just not sustainable. Just can't happen. Sorry. Wow. That is just crazy to think. Crazy to think that the combination of Marcus Semien and Corey Seager was going to take more to land than you might pay for Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. And that money got spent. That money got spent by a team, not the Yankees.
I do think the Ortiz Manny mention is instructive, though, because like that, I think that's the natural right. You get the righty lefty element. They're like both offense first players hitting in the heart of the order. Like Manny Ramirez had two offensive seasons in his career by OPS plus that were around what Juan Soto is currently doing. He had 0 seasons that are around what Aaron Judge is doing. And one of those seasons came with Cleveland. And when you think about Ortiz, Manny, obviously they were an incredible duo and probably the best 1-2 punch in the game when they were together for a period of time. But from a real nitpicky standpoint, by the time David Ortiz was doing his best work, Manny Ramirez was not generally doing his best work, at least in terms of regular season performance. He was still awesome, but Manny Ramirez's best seasons were 2000 and 2002. End of Cleveland tenure, beginning of Red Sox tenure. And David Ortiz did not establish himself as the true force of nature that he became until at the absolute earliest 2004. So that's it really is for stars to align like this and two guys primes to go together like this, like what we're seeing. And there's a lot of season left, but it really is historically. I know we toss around a lot of stats and a lot of historical context. This really is historically special and significant, what's going on right now.
Even more so the fact that like Aaron Judge started off like dog shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he still has vaulted himself into statistically being the best hitter in baseball.
Best player.
Yeah, well, since April 27th, right? He leads the world in everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean, to your initial point, I know it's June and that an MVP conversation is just, there's plenty of time for it, but the part of the fun of the MVP is the race. It's not just who wins it at the end or whatever. And the ebbs and flows of Judge, Soto, Witt, and Henderson is just, and I know Kyle Tucker belongs in the conversation too. So if we want to make it a 5-person thing, that's fine. I think Kyle Tucker is going to have an uphill battle because he's probably not going to have the best overall offensive stats, and he may play on the worst team. But those 5 guys, it could be just a really special summer for individual offensive performance in the AL.
Right now, they're on pace to combine both of those guys 110 homers between 2 people.
Pretty good.
Right now, they already have 38 homers combined. They got 7.9 WAR combined, which would be like the 15th best team kind of offense. So I think they're pretty good, and I think Juan Soto is probably going to get, what do you think, 25-year contract at the end of the year?
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at like the Manny Ortiz stuff. It's like they were great, but they didn't hit over 100 home runs combined in a year. I thought like 80 plus was pretty cool, but.
And this isn't about slandering other duos or not giving them due respect. Like we are truly talking about like the cream of the crop all time. And that's what they're doing. And they have to do it over a full season for this to be, the same sort of conversation come year end. But what they're doing right now, and it feels sustainable to a degree. That's what's kind of scary, is that Aaron Judge has done this before and Juan Soto basically has done this before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just doing it together and they're both healthy and playing.
Mm.
Sorry.
Manny and Ortiz hit 92 home runs in 2005. I just want that out there.
They were great, man.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen the
doesn't diminish your memories at all.
Brent Rooker duo at full strength yet. So we can't.
Yeah, Miguel Andujar.
Look at that slander. Dallas, I would never do that.
Take your shots now. It's fine.
I still think he probably won't be on the team, but that's all right.
But if you want to talk about the Yankees, I mean, I think the most surprising thing about the Yankees is not even these guys. Obviously, these guys are good at baseball. They're always going to be good at baseball. But like the pitching rotation for the Yankees, every single one of them has been fire. When they were before the season, this was like the main concern. Like the Yankees aren't going to be good because they don't have pitchers, and Garrett Cole's hurt. Every single one of them has been fire, except for Clay Holmes, who now is injured because Jared shouted him out. But other than him,
Joe, here's how that looks, Joe. Because there's a few teams, that I was kind of looking at the starting rotations last night, and the Yankees being one of them. As they sit right now, overall, the starters, guys who have started baseball games for the Yankees, that group sits 4th in total innings pitched right now. That same group sits 3rd in all of baseball with a 1.1 whip, 1.10 to be specific. That same group is 2nd in batting average against at 210. They are also 2nd with 347 strikeouts as a group, 3rd in K per 9, sitting at 9.01 K per 9 as a starting staff, and the 2.78 ERA is the 2nd best ERA in baseball, behind only the Philadelphia Phillies.
And that's the starters. The relievers, 2nd in ERA in the league. So they got the 3rd best offense, 2nd best starting pitching staff, 2nd best relieving staff, Relief Corps.
That a baby.
Maybe.
Yeah, and over the last 2 weeks, their ERA, WHIP, and batting average against, those are all actually the ERA 2.61 is the second best ERA in baseball, but the WHIP and the batting average are all tops over the last 2 weeks.
And guess who's coming back?
The Yankees are doing everything. Yeah, Garrett Cole. Set to make what it looks like it'll be probably a couple starts.
Tomorrow?
Yep.
Is that first start tomorrow?
Yeah. And it looks like it'll be a couple starts because, you're debating on whether or not you want to run him back out there in the big leagues without being able to give you, that potential 100-pitch effort. So do you want Garrett Cole back, just giving you 65 to 75, somewhere in there? Do you want him back at full strength? That's what they're going to evaluate.
I mean, they're in a good position.
Well, yeah, right now, if you're the Yankees, don't you feel like you're in a position to go ahead and let Garrett Cole, I don't want to say take his time, let Garrett Cole
You are.
Make sure that everything's okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You sure are. I mean, it begs the question, is Garrett Cole the clubhouse cancer that we all thought he was? And I feel like it's unequivocally the answer is yes. The Yankees are having their best season right now since signing Garrett Cole, and they're doing it without him completely.
Joe, I got to tell you, there was a lot of talk around Truist, Joe. A lot of talk around Truist about whether or not it was addition by subtraction once again with Ronald Acuña Jr.
Who was saying that?
And I didn't. Well, Braves fans, because I was at Truist Park, Joe, and there's Braves fans there. So, I mean, and that was an unprompted conversation.
So one guy came up.
No. There's multiple people who made the point and made sure that I understood the point that they were able to come together without him. It just might be something that has to be done again, brother.
It's true. I mean, maybe it is. I hope it is. But that doesn't make Acuña the clubhouse cancer. That means his absence can multiply the production from the clubhouse in order to overcompensate for the lack of Ronald Acuña. The other boys bind together, kind of like, we're doing it for our boy who's down. We're doing it for him. It's not that he's causing problems. I don't know why some people would say that. They're bonding together.
Like when the White Sox,
Freddie would say
when the White Sox hung Eloy's jersey in the dugout when he stubbed his toe.
Exactly. So you might see a big number 13 etched in the outfield come World Series time. Center field. Well, right field where he plays. Usually it'd be center field, but it's going to be in right field. And we're going to win on number 13. I haven't ruled out he comes back for the playoffs, him and Strider, but we could talk about that later.
If you want Braves tickets, though, boy, do I have the app for you. It's the Game Time app. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Joe, when's the last time you've been to a game?
I went to a game it's been probably about a month.
Okay, so you would say a long time.
Been a while, man. I got to get back out there.
Yeah, what's up with that? You just busy, or you don't believe in your Braves now that they don't have Acuña anymore?
Oh, the Braves play in Atlanta. I don't live anywhere close to it. But I'm going to see the Braves this weekend, so come on. I hit up Game Time.
I
already got my tickets. Front row.
Yeah, boom. Done. Save up to 60% buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Save even more with the exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Save even more when you choose a section. You let Game Time choose the seats for you. And they've got all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. The Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I guess we can kind of finish off with some Blue Jays news here. They've got
hold on.
What?
Just real quick before we close the book on the Yankees, Aaron Judge and all that. Did we not see the tweet from the New York Yankees when Judge hit the homer?
The Arson Judge, yeah.
Well, welcome back, Arson.
Yeah, and then like some dude tweeted out the Yankees social account manager's like address. Like Giants fans were really upset about that tweet, I guess.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It got ugly in the Twitter streets over the weekend. Yeah, Giants fans were not pumped about. I mean, like,
man.
Let me ask if there are Giants fans listening, you didn't honestly think Judge was going to sign there, right? Like he used you guys. He was never going anywhere but New York.
It was reported, dude.
But he wanted to make what he thought was what I like. This is what these other teams would pay me if I went there. You guys are using my loyalty to the Yankees against me and making me a lowball offer. So he had to make it seem like he would go somewhere else, but he never wanted to leave. He was never going to leave, and he got his money and he stayed. Like that's how it played out.
They got a video of him in the airport, in the hotel.
That's where he fucking lives, dude.
The video is so funny looking back on it. The fakest video I've ever seen. Aaron, what are you doing? What are you doing in San Francisco?
Aaron, what are you doing here?
He doesn't get
in
enough
San
shit
Francisco.
for staging that, by the way. Yeah, he doesn't get enough shit for staging that video.
But I think it was like meant to be that corny though. Like I really do.
No,
I mean his smile, like the shit-eating grin, like because I mean like he if you know the dude, like he dropped that on you.
No.
To be fair to Giants fans, I mean, yeah, it might have been obvious, kind of like or made it, but like when Bob Nightingale tweets he is going to the San Francisco Giants, you can't blame any Giants fan for thinking he was going to the San Francisco Giants.
I mean, you could be mad at him for playing them. Like this is yeah.
Aaron Judge in San Francisco, what are you doing in the city?
Just visiting some family and friends. That's about it.
Oh yeah, any fun plans?
We got something. Have a good one.
You too.
And by the way, he winks at the camera.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How lucky was she to catch that video?
Yeah. And it's watermarked by MLB Network. Like, since when is MLB Network doing TMZ guerrilla footage reporting?
Oh, hold on. So if it's watermarked, does that mean that wouldn't that mean that that's like their property? Like, so that they had somebody, did they pay for that? Did they facilitate that?
I mean, you can, like, that's not a fan asking that question.
Aaron Judge in San Francisco, what are you doing in the city?
Just visiting some family and friends. That's about it.
Oh yeah, any fun plans?
We got something. Have a good one.
You too.
So hold on though.
Like you, what? Like you're gonna contest that wasn't completely staged? Like he. By the way, no. For anyone that hasn't seen the video, he's walking in the doors of a hotel to get to the lobby to go to the elevator. But like, how many videos have you seen where you can tell that they're like, okay, go, and then they start moving? Like he's not forward progressing, walking until the video starts. So like she went up to him and said, "Hey, I'm gonna ask you this. You start walking. I'm gonna make it seem like you're just passing by." But like, yeah, it was very, very, very staged. And that's why Giant fans are, I mean, it's like, yeah, you played us. But he had to do what he had to do. You were necessary, collateral damage.
Yes, collateral damage. This is what I'm getting at, Jared, is if that is somebody who works for MLB Network and they're helping facilitate negotiation
It's probably somebody that works for his agency. Like
Well,
we're
yes,
gonna
that's-
like
but
you're
that-
gonna
that's
come
why-
home to visit friends. We're gonna set up a meeting with the San Francisco Giants. We're gonna film this video. And like, when have you ever seen a watermarked video with the MLB Network logo on it like that?
That's weird.
Listen,
Never.
The actual tweet that announced that showed that video was from Morosi that said breaking news into MLB Network via video from San Francisco. Not fan submitted, just video from San Francisco. Aaron Judge has arrived in the city and expected to meet with the Giants this week. Join us on hashtag MLBN Hot Stove at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow for the latest at MLB. I mean, that is just a promo video. That's all that is. So, like, I don't know if it's a big mystery or not, but like everything you guys said is correct. This is an MLB or an MLB Network employee who this is a staged video. It couldn't look any more staged with or without a fucking watermark. And so, like, that's what it is. He played the Yankees and whatever. And
but is
MLB
nobody else
facilitated? I don't know.
Is nobody else seeing this or seeing what I mean? It was utilized like that's the idea. Is when you have leverage like that, you're pulling the lever, and who it works against is up to those parties. That's how leverage works, right? You know what you have, you know what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, and it's up to those other parties to interpret that as such. What I am asking here is, are we not drawing any connection towards MLB Network helping negotiations for a player
Oh, no,
who's
I think
a part
that's
of the
super weird.
union?
Super weird.
But like, are we just gonna blow past that? Like, oh, that's like who else have we seen this for? Again, if this is the case, but who else have we seen this for? Where MLB Network is like officially pushing along the narrative, like to help favor a player.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is, it's kind of crazy in its own right. I just keep coming back to
it's not reporting on it. It's not just reporting on it. This is essentially
we will help to facilitate your free agency in exchange for a promo video that goes on our feeds. Period. That's what that was.
Is that legal?
Well, if someone sends them a video, like they're supposed to report the news, like we got video of Aaron Judge in the lobby or whatever, like they're going to show that regardless of it, Like if MLB, do you think MLB Network is going to be like, no, we're not going to show this video that got recorded because that would be collusion or helping a free agent?
But Dallas is saying that the video is shot by MLB Network. It's not video that has been received.
I think it was his agency.
So like that's because what I'm getting at is ultimately,
and why did only John Morosi have it?
Right. And that's the workaround, right? But to the detail of what Jayhay said about this being video out of this place, and like, do we have a source of where that video came from? Like, is there an account?
Nope.
Where that original video came from?
But that's why it was probably the agency, because it's like if like reporters have good relationships with the agents, and the agent is like, hey, we need to drive up the price or appear that he's going to go to San Francisco. So we'll give you this reporter who also works for MLB Network. Like, you can get it on the air. So we'll give it to the reporter. The reporter puts it out so that it's not from like a fan account, that it may not go viral at all. And then Morosi can also be like, oh, well, we'll talk about it on MLB Network, and that'll get it out there as well. So yeah, I think it was the agency working with the reporter, which happens all the time.
All the time, but it's one thing to have the reporter on the payroll. It's another thing to have MLB Network.
I don't think they're on the payroll. It's more just like, we're giving you an exclusive video during a time in the offseason where people could not get enough of Aaron Judge rumors, like Aaron Judge being the guy, like his free agency was a big deal. It's like, hey, we're going to give you an exclusive. And it's like, it's helping us to get the perception out there that he might sign with the Giants, and it's helping you because now you have an exclusive video to talk about on your show.
But to Dallas's point, that's normal if the recipient of the video is the New York Times,
Yes.
or the Washington Post, or the San
Right.
Francisco Chronicle.
Right.
It's not normal if the recipient is MLB Network, which is under the same umbrella as obviously everybody knows, as Major League Baseball, and is obviously embedded in a way that an independent news source could never be.
Yeah.
So
You're
that's the
not-
weird part.
Yeah, it's you're not supposed to be working when the A-Rod shit happened and the A's made T-shirts, Major League Baseball shut the A's down, said no, we're not doing that because you're pitting two union members against each other and you're leveraging that for financial gain. We're not with that. We're not going to do that, right? We're not going to be a mechanism in that for you. So it's almost like this is something similar where being able to do that and being able to leverage that platform, you're now utilizing them as a mechanism in your negotiations.
I mean,
And they're being more than, and they're helping it. They're assisting it.
So little peek behind the curtain. When I was at Major League Baseball, there was a rubber meets the road moment where we stopped being allowed to post like so let's say Machado signs a $300 million deal. We could no longer post on the official MLB social accounts largest contracts ever signed by a third baseman or largest contracts ever, just factual information. No editorial copy or text associated. Just that information could not be posted on the MLB social accounts because it was perceived as it might be, pro player in the case of pushing largest deals, or isn't this cool? Isn't this something we should be celebrating? Or there was the reverse of like, we don't want to do the opposite where we seem league friendly. And this to me is like way more of a dicey proposition. Or at least it at least should be part of the same general conversation as what that was. So it's just interesting where that's applied and where that's not, or who it's applied for or who it's not.
Well, I didn't expect to break down a video from 2022 today, but
Me neither.
Yeah. It's good discussion. Jake, what do we have for runtime?
We are at 126.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I had some other topics here, but I didn't expect the topics that came in front of that to be as lengthy, which I think we did a pretty good job. Unless anyone felt any type of way about Spencer Torkelson getting demoted to AAA.
No, that's tough. It's brutal. Obviously, the lack of power. He just hit his first home run, a week ago?
What did I see? He had the second worst OPS for a first baseman in history through X amount of games.
Yeah, he's really bad.
Anytime you're the worst in history or worst on your own team when you have playing with Javier Baez, chill. It's not good.
Chill.
Fifth worst qualified batter by F4 this year and one of 14 to be below replacement level. And he has a 683 career OPS in over 1,300 plate appearances. And this is a guy whose only contributions are going to be with his bat, if they ever are. That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a big problem.
He just hit. He has 4 homers. His first homer he hit, a few weeks ago, May 12th.
So he's hot.
Home run he hit.
He was hot.
He's got 4 homers. Yeah,
4 homers in a
I'm not
month.
saying that he shouldn't have been the first overall pick, because obviously I don't study the draftees and didn't in 2020 to that level. But like, that's just a massive miss for a 1-1 to be a below replacement level corner DH first base type of bat who has this level of sample size under his belt and who has been this terrible.
He's 0 for 16 and has struck out 9 out of his last 16 plate appearances.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
Well,
this
look, you got a dude who hit
like,
30 homers last year.
Yeah.
So I understand why you would need to see some sort of signs that is even close to being, something that you can do consistently. And that is just, that hasn't happened. So hopefully it's a matter of him just going down to AAA, and maybe it's a pitch selection thing. Maybe he's being exposed in a certain part of the zone where he just hasn't been able to make an adjustment to. Now that I think about it, I might take a look at that because I like Torque. But yeah, like I hope what doesn't happen is he's down there trying to figure something out, but because he's had the success he's had in the big leagues, he just turns into a guy who's going to go to AAA and absolutely shit on minor league pitching, bad minor league pitching, and then get back up to the big leagues and really not have been able to make the adjustment. I hope that's not what happens.
I know we're not going to do like a full breakdown of Spencer Torkelson, but like I just, the idea that we have a slugging power first corner guy who is basically never even demonstrated an above average level of hitting fastballs, let alone all the other things that you need to master at the major league level. Like he's been fucking really bad against fastballs this year and was only like okay within the context of the league last season when he hit 30 homers. Like it's just, you would think that he would have fastballs down and like, oh, just exploit Spencer with off speed or sliders away or something. And it's just like, it's like lots of things. It's just kind of, it's tough to miss. I feel like this badly on, and I'm not even trying to be mean to Spencer Torkelson. It's just like, if he was 1-4, then we wouldn't really be having this conversation. He was 1-1 and you don't get that many shots at that. And you take a guy who's supposed to have a floor of a really good bat, right? Just a guy you can plug in at worst as the number 5 hitter on your team. And like, he's just so far away from even being that guy.
I mean, if you were to do a redraft right now with hindsight of the first round 2020, like who are you taking with that? Is it, I mean, because the Spencer Strider went in the 4th round.
Yeah, none of these guys in the first round looking at it right now are established or like have really, I mean, I guess Garrett Crochet is doing good this year. Is like the only guy.
Detmers.
Can I drop a name on you?
Yeah.
If we're limiting it to the first round.
Ooh, I know you're going to say.
I'm taking Patrick Bailey.
Okay.
Oh.
If we're limiting it to the first round, I'm taking Bailey because I think what you have there is at the very least an outstanding defensive backstop. And like if the bat's anything close to what we've seen through the first part of this season, then like that's an all-star, actually.
No Heston Kjerstad?
Well,
Bobby Miller?
We'll see, I guess.
Bobby Miller is who I was, that's where I was looking. I mean, if you were going to, I mean, again, that's an extreme advantage of hindsight. But
yeah. This is all just
you
fun.
get to use hindsight.
Obviously, we don't.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the correct answer is Spencer Strider.
Yeah.
But as a 4th rounder, what about Mason Wynn?
He's been looking nice lately.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker also in this draft. Not a guy you would take for this hypothetical, but another guy who has struggled.
Yeah. Well, there's that. Jayhay, you got any nugs for us?
I do.
Please proceed.
I do. There's been a couple of podcasts in a row where a gentleman has asked for a Bryson Stott nug, and I got a Bryson Stott nug for you. Okay. Bryson Stott right now through 55 games has 5 homers, 5 doubles, 2 triples, 15 stolen bases, and 5 sacrifice flies. Okay. I know that's a lot to keep in your head, but he's the first player since 2019 at Alberto Mondesi to hit those numbers through 55 games. And the only players in the wild card era to do that through 55 games are Mondesi in 2019, Coco Crisp in 2010, Johnny Damon in 2000, and Roberto Alomar in 1999. There's your Stott nug. Also, as Jared has suggested a number of times, I am trying to look out for people's suggestions. Edmundo Sosa as the replacement for the injured Trey Turner was a request. He has a 949 OPS and a 168 OPS plus in 31 games and 103 plate appearances this season. Here's a super specific nug for you. He's hitting 476 with a 1.048 slugging percentage against 79 sinkers this season. By Savant's run value, that's the 6th most productive batter against any specific pitch type this season, behind Kyle Tucker, Adley Rutschman, Jurickson Profar, Juan Soto against 4-seamers. That's it. Javier Baez, I shared this one on Twitter, but this is funny given our RBI conversation from a couple of podcasts ago. Javier Baez has 25 RBI while having a 479 OPS. That's the same number of RBI that Yordan Alvarez has while having an 831 OPS.
Clutch.
Going a little, well, okay. So going a little bit deeper, Javier Baez is hitting 390 with runners in scoring position this season. That's 16 for 41. So it's not like some 8 plate appearance sample size. 16 for 41, 390 with runners in scoring position, and 134 with nobody on base. That's the 11th highest batting average with runners in scoring position for any player this season, and the lowest batting average with nobody on base. I don't believe that he's actually turning on something and turning it off, but goddamn, are those splits pretty extreme? Nobody else even approaches anything like that.
It kind of makes sense, man. I remember a few years ago when he got benched, was that last year, and everyone was saying like, maybe he just like doesn't play good on a bad team. Like he needs a competitor, needs the freaking high heart rate. So it actually kind of makes sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
It actually kind of does, given like what his career looked like prior to getting Detroit, where like he was playing in a lot of high leverage games for important teams, and it's like now he plays in Detroit, and it's like, not that they are better this season, but most of his career has been in pretty low stakes shit. Maybe there's something to it. I'm going to keep track of that one, because that's to have a 260 point split between your batting average with runners in scoring position and nobody on is fucking crazy. A couple of quick splits here. Blake Snell has given up 2 home runs in 22 plate appearances against lefties this season. He gave up 2 homers in 125 plate appearances against lefties last season. Rafael Devers has 2 triples in 49 games this year. He had 2 triples in 450 games from 2021 to 2023. Alex Bregman has 4 homers over his last 6 games. He had 4 homers through his first 51 games. Wilyer Abreu is the first Red Sox player with 20 or more doubles through his first 81 games since that aforementioned Rafael Devers did so across 2017 to 18. Follow up on a previous nug that somebody asked me to check on, the Aaron Judge stretch numbers. So the 25 game span that includes through Saturday, he had a 1.544 OPS. That is the 3rd highest OPS by any player over a 25 game span in the last 15 years. So basically post Bonds, behind only Christian Yelich in 2018 and Shohei Ohtani in 2022. Chris Sale, final nug. Oh, I already did that one. So that's it. Those are my nugs.
So that's it. Okay. Joseph, any final thoughts for you today?
Yeah. Did we talk about Chris Sale while I was gone momentarily? Not Chris Sale, Blake Snell?
No, we didn't talk about the injury.
Well, yeah.
But it looks like the groin again. Did they announce IL officially, or we heard it was likely? Yeah. I don't know if the official announcement's been made yet.
There's a video. Have you seen the video of the pitch?
Yeah, him grabbing. Yeah.
Grabbing his crotch. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, we're wishing him the best. That sucks for the Giants. But David Fletcher, I don't know if we've covered David Fletcher when I was gone, but this guy, this guy is having quite a season. Maybe the most interesting man in baseball at the moment. David Fletcher. Everyone remembers him, second baseman for the Angels, cornerstone in the middle infield.
Very close with Shohei Ohtani.
A little too close, one might say.
Yeah.
Seeing how it all worked out. But David Fletcher, infielder, 5 seasons then, but then he went to the Braves, not good enough to play on the Braves because we're the Braves. We're going to send you down to the minors. Then he convinces the coach, the team, that, hey, I got a good knuckleball. You should let me throw a knuckleball. They let him throw the knuckleball, comes in, 1, 2, 3 inning. They let him do it again. Second appearance, strikes out all 3 batters, strikes out the side of the knuckleball. Then turns out 5 days after that, he's getting investigated for betting with Ippei's bookie. So now he's being investigated with MLB. If they find out he bet on baseball, he's going to get banned for life. So we don't know if he's going to get banned or not. He says he didn't bet on baseball, so I believe him. Anyway, the Braves are now letting him start once a week, just a knuckleball. First game, a little dicey, but I get what he pitched 5 innings. Where's the stat line? Pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, struck out 6 batters, struck out Jackson Holiday.
Jackson Holiday, yes, right.
So it is interesting. Like this guy could be the next Ohtani because he's still hitting. He's still playing every day.
Ohtani.
He could be. I mean, the similarities are there. We got gambling scandal, we got hitting, and we got pitching. That's all. That's Ohtani in a nutshell right there. Gambler, pitcher, hitter. David Fletcher seems to be all 3 of those things. His ERA is over 6. His OPS is, I think, 600. So if you look at the numbers, maybe they're not going to work out, but he's shown flashes of a pretty sick knuckleball.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out for Fletch.
Keep an eye out for Fletch. Jay?
Oh, I just had a final thought. That's all.
Okay, proceed.
You should be in the habit of checking the YouTube page, the Jared Carabas Underdog YouTube page, regularly. But specifically today to check out the newest video essay. Mike Trout. And his pursuit of the GOAT status and where that stands.
Yeah.
So,
Mike Trout, does he actually suck? An investigation.
That's right. Hater hat on, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Dallas, any final thoughts? What's Alex Wood up to?
Just hanging out, playing catch, playing cards, you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
about
Jake
Yeah.
Stakes?
17 minutes and 36 seconds was the runtime on Dallas's I Told You So segment. I feel like that was pretty light, honestly, for the magnitude of what happened, but
I
we'll
agree.
tune in tomorrow and see how long the next one is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was light.
Got off
I
lucky.
definitely would have. I would have taken the over on at least 25 minutes.
Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to beat the horse that I told you was
no.
going to die?
No. I thought you handled it well. I thought you did a great job, Dallas.
I did. All credit to me. I was
Oh yeah,
exceptional.
speaking of self-absorbed things to say, these motherfuckers. This is my final thought. The fucking Baseball is Dead Discord trying to say it was my fault because I had to name National League West team, but I said an AL West team. No, other way around. I had to name an AL West team, but I said a National League West team. And then they were like, well, all he had to do was answer the question correctly, blah, blah, blah. And he's blaming us because we didn't have A-Rod as one of the top shortstop. You're wrong. Like, you're wrong. Put it this way.
That is a hell of a hill.
You guys want an apology? You want an apology? Oh, you want some accountability from me? Yeah, guess what? You're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. You guys fucked that up, not me. It was you.
Bad look. That is a bad look.
I mean, listen. Maybe don't ask such a dumb question too.
I mean, you're asking the Discord to just overlook your fucking NL West answer to the AL West question, Jared. There's a lot of things I can back up. There's a lot of things that I shouldn't back up that I do back up.
Yeah.
That is a tough one to back up.
Yeah, well, if you get the shortstop question right as the voters, then guess what? We win. So we won. I don't care. Accountability. Why don't you guys be accountable? Go read a book on baseball. Maybe get some survey questions right. That's all I gotta say.
I hate to see a reel like that at the very end. Nope. That's tough. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you on Wednesday. We out.